Hey everyone, I just finished my farmer's market haul, so come along with me as we prep for the week. Today we're making some sweet and savory danishes, some lentils with dandelion soup, homemade naan, pancake, chickpeas, some homemade pasta, pak choy, salmon, some mushrooms. So let's get started. I have Derek as my sous chef today. He's going to be helping me out. We are chopping up some sweet potato, onions, garlic, pretty much all the things that I'm going to need to go along with these dishes, some dandelion. And while he's doing that, I'm going to move on with mixing our dough for the Danish. And then once this is finished, I'm going to mix another batch of dough for our homemade naan. And then I like to cover everything up and place it in a spot that it could start the rising process. And for me, that's I like to double cover, which with some saran wrap and then a towel. I place it in my oven, and that's a good spot for me. And then moving on, I wanted to make some gnocchis with these beautiful purple potatoes and some beets that I have. But then I quickly realized that I did not have enough potatoes for gnocchi. So we're still going to start the process, and then we're going to come up with something else to make with this. So while that's boiling, we're going to move on to our lentil soup. And with the lentil soup, I'm using lentils and some barley as well in the mixture here. I like the barley because I'm trying to, keep it healthy and trying to have ingredients that are full of fiber and protein. So we're starting off with our lentil soup with some olive oil, of course. Then we're going to add in some garlic, our onions, some pepper flakes, and then the carrots and sweet potato. I wash my lentils, and we're going to add that in as well. Everything goes in at once, and we're just going to put this on the pressure cooker. So of course you want to add in your salt and pepper. I like to add in a couple flakes of cumin in there as well. Some turmeric. I'm using some ground turmeric today. Normally I like to use the fresh one, but they did not have at the farmer's market, so some ground one would do. And then we're going to just let that saute for a little bit, and then it will be time to add in some water. Could also use some stock, vegetable stock if you'd like. I went ahead and add some bouillon powder in my hot water before I put that in, and then I add in some Greek yogurt, and then of course our dandelion. This is the star of this dish. Dandelion is so good for you, healthy, and it goes really well with lentils. Don't be afraid to pressure it. It's a sturdy vegetable and it's delicious. So while that's going, we're going to move on, and then I have Mr. Zachary in the kitchen. He's going to go ahead and make us some pancakes for breakfast in the morning. Him and his brother do not like to eat the lentils, so lentil is for me and Derek, and pancake will be for them. But he does an amazing job with his pancake. He makes it better than me, I should say, or Aiden, which Aiden may be mad at me for saying that, but his pancakes are delicious. They're thick and fluffy, and they rise up so well. But of course, I will try to list as much ingredients and recipes for you guys in the detail of this video. And then also the whole point of making this particular video is to show you guys how you could gather all of your ingredients at the farmer's market. It's fresh, healthy, and prep for the week. It requires a few hours, but once you're done, you're set for the week. You don't have to worry about coming home late at night and fixing dinner, or making breakfast early in the morning. So this is a great way to do it. So here our lentil soup is looking good. All I did was open the pressure cooker and pour them out. You don't have to do anything else. Of course, you could taste it, make sure you have enough salt or pepper if you want to add something to it, but that is ready to go, as you could see, and we'll see throughout the video. I make 2 portions of everything that I do, one for home and one for work. And we're moving on with some chickpeas. I went ahead and soaked some overnight so it's nice and soft before I put it in the pressure cooker, and let that pressure for a bit, and we'll come back to that. Moving on to our dough. We're starting with the Danish dough, which just want to knead it a little, and then I am going to just form it into the shape that I'm trying to achieve right now, which is these round shapes. So we just want to get them all in the same shape and let it sit again for another 30 minutes or so, so they could rise again and do their thing, and then we'll move on to making our naan. This dough is very simple. All you need is a few ingredients that you probably already have in your pantry. So I will list everything again. This is going to go back in my oven in my safe space, and we move on to making some naan. Same concept here. We're going to get our dough ready. We have to knead it a little and then portion them out, and then this does not have to sit and rise again. We're just gonna go right into cooking it. And of course, as a content creator, I have to get extra footage for my shorts and Instagram and TikTok and all of that stuff. So if you guys see me doing it throughout this video, that's what it's for. So naan is one of my favorite things to eat. I mean, roti I would say is number one, but naan is also so good. It's goes with anything. You could just eat it by itself. You could eat it with peanut butter, with butter, just like putting the garlic and olive oil on there with some crushed pepper. It's delicious. You could add different flavors. It goes with curry. It goes with so many different things, and it's delicious, easy to make. And again, I will list ingredients for you guys. Now you could use a regular rolling pin to roll this out, but I find for my naan I like to use this small rolling pin. It works great for me. Also, with making my naan, normally I try not to put butter or oil on it in the pan like I'm doing right now, only because it creates so much smoke in the kitchen and you have to watch it. And sometimes by having the grease on it, the oil or butter, it causes it to burn a little. So try avoid doing that if you can. Um, Sometimes I totally forget and I do it anyway, but uh, it would be best if you take it off the stove and then put your butter or olive oil or whatever you're going to put on it. But I do catch myself putting it on in the pan all the time, like I'm doing right now, and then before you know it, the smoke alarm is going off because there's so much smoke or steam in the house. But that is the end of our naan. It's quick, delicious, and we move on to our next. So this is the right way to do it, out of the pan. So here I have our beets that we made early, or we had earlier, along with those purple potato. After it boiled, it was not so purple anymore. And the whole concept was trying to make some gnocchis out of it, but we just did not have enough potato. So what I end up doing is still prep it as if I was going to do that, and then decided, okay, I'm just going to try making some pasta for the first time. but it was not working out very well to press the beets out, so I instead grabbed my little ninja blender and I put my beets in there, and that worked out a lot better. So moving on, we're gonna make some pasta instead, and I've never made pasta before, so this is going to be fun. Of course, my beets was splashing everywhere in the kitchen and making a mess. Ingredients as you would for pasta, we have some flour, the beets of course, and 1 egg, and just fold everything together until your dough comes together. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this aside for a bit while we move on to something else. While we put that to rest a bit, we're moving on to some salmon steak. All we're gonna do for this on seasoning is some Old Bay, some Cajun seasoning, and then some lemon. Just let this marinate for a bit, and then we're gonna get it on the stove and we're gonna sear on both sides until they're cooked, and then of course you flip it and sear again. The salmon was so delicious. They are fresh caught salmon. I often don't care for bones too much, but this was not so bad. And then that's it. It's looking very good, as you guys could see. We're gonna move on and get these off the stove and finish with a little bit of sauce in the same pan, which we have some more of the Cajun seasoning, some lemon juice and capers, and then pour that directly over your salmon, and that is it. Next, we have our chickpeas that was in the pressure cooker. That's all finished, so we're gonna saute that on a pan with some garlic and onions. Get that sauteed for a bit, and then you add in your chickpeas. Add in some salt and pepper and some cumin. Let that cook for a few minutes, and because it's already pressured, you really don't have to cook it too much. And we're going to finish it off with some scallions. And again, I'm making 2 portions of everything so I could have enough at home for weeknights and also for lunches. Moving on to our Danish dough, which I'm simply just using a glass, as you could see, to form a circle in the middle, and then we're gonna add in a few things. So for a few of them, I'm just doing some arugula and some cheese, and then for the other few, we're gonna do cheese and bacon. That's gonna be our savory, and then for the sweet, we have some mascarpone cheese that was whipped with some lemon and lemon zest. And then we're going to finish it off with some blueberries, some raspberries, and for our final one, I decided to just add some chocolate in there. So we're just using some good old Nutella chocolate. These came out so good. Okay, next these go in the oven for about 15 minutes or so at 350 degrees. Just want to keep an eye on it so you don't make them too dark. And that was it. Look at that, guys. So delicious. It was perfect. And this is the first time I was making this as well. So very happy with the way it came out as far as taste, texture, all of that was on point. So very happy with this recipe. So next we have some mushrooms, and for the pasta dough that we made earlier, I decided that we are going to take some of these portobello mushrooms and chop them up into tiny pieces, and then cook them in the pan with some salt, pepper, onions, and saute until it's fully cooked. And then we're going to put it in the fridge to chill for a little bit so we could make a stuffing for our pasta. So this is pretty straightforward. Olive oil, garlic, onions, mushroom goes in, and then we have salt, pepper, some pepper flakes, and I also added in some mushroom seasoning. We're just gonna let that sit, and now it's time to test out this pasta that I've never made before. I wanted to do the beets because it's such a vibrant color. I love beets. I make juice like once a week, so I figure why not try it. But came out pretty well. Of course, I have no idea what I'm doing. We don't have a rack to dry our pasta on, so we're just kind of winging it right now. I added some basil to this batch and decided we're just going to make some bow tie. We made some small ones into like tiny balls, kind of like a gnocchi style, but. And then for the last batch, we have our mushrooms that I added in some ricotta cheese. We're going to roll those out and then finish it off with the mushroom. I have to say this was a little challenging because I have no idea what I was doing, and even though Derek was right next to me helping, neither one of us had made pasta before. We love pasta. We make it all the time, but we normally just buy it from the store like everyone else. But this was quite an experience, and we will definitely be making it again. And because I didn't want to let anything go to waste, I took all the corners that we cut out and just kind of rolled them, put a little twist on them, and put those as well so we could use it for something. Um, Nothing goes to waste. But look at that, came out good, right? So now it's time to put it to the test. It was the next afternoon, and we decided to try our stuffed mushroom. Of course, as you guys could see, some of them did not seal properly, so of course the mushrooms were pouring out. But out of 8, I believe 6 of them survived, 2 did not. So we move on. I've been seeing this viral watermelon the way to cut these watermelon, and we had some, so we figure let's try it out. We could all try it together, right? Jay did an amazing job chopping them up. And then I just wanted to try it with some condensed milk, so we pulled it out and I took a big scoop of condensed milk. Derek wanted to do something salty, so he tried it with some tahine, which was also good. And then we have our bok choy. This is something that Derek makes all the time, so he is going to cook this for us. So we have onions and garlic in the pan along with some garlic sauce, and what else do you have in there, Derek?
Soy sauce.
Soy sauce. And just saute all of that together. You add in your bok choy, and then he finished it off with some cornstarch and water to just thicken everything up. Of course, salt, pepper as well. And that's it for our bok choy. That was delicious. It's prepped and ready, and then you could just eat it with whatever protein you have in your fridge. For us, we end up sauteing some shrimp and white rice, and that was perfect. And then moving on, I do have our mushrooms. This is some assorted mushroom. Um, that I got fresh from the farmer's market. Lion's mane was the main one here that I love so much. It's so good for you. And just saute that with salt and pepper. Then I added in some of the pasta we made the day before and get that sauteed, and then we ate the pasta over the mushroom. Finish it off with a drizzle of pesto sauce, which was amazing. Okay, we also made some other things like some beef in the slow cooker that did not make it into this video, but the whole point was to show you guys how you could get some fresh ingredients and prep for the week. It makes life so much easier. I hope you guys try this. Again, as always, thank you for watching. We have lots of other videos if you want to go ahead and check those out. But we appreciate you. Until next time, Aiden and I will see you guys. Take care and have a great rest of your week.